Hello Seekers, this is Kim and welcome to a weekly reading. Before we begin, please know that this is a timeless reading. Even though the energy is based for a 7-day period, there is no specific date or timestamp to the messages, meaning at whatever moment in time you decide to watch this video, the messages can still apply to you for that specific week. And I'd like to introduce you to my neighbor's bird, that squawking noise. Yep, that's him. Okay, so to figure out what this week will be all about, we'll use a tarot and oracle cards. We'll also pull out some keywords, and at the very end, we'll answer some yes or no questions that you may have using this chart and some crystals. Yeah, so make sure to stick around for that. So we have 3 groups to choose from. Representing group 1 is this card and this clear quartz crystal. Group 2, we have this clear quartz. And for group 3, we have this clear quartz. Okay, so whatever card or clear quartz calls out to you, then that will be your group, and the timestamp for each group is provided in the comment section down below. Okay, now that you've chosen, let's get into your reading. Hello Seekers who chose group 1. So before beginning each reading, I always ask to connect with the energy of each group, and this is to help me get an inkling of what the reading will be about before looking at the cards. I'm so sorry if you hear a squawking noise. My neighbors have a macaw, and yeah, I think this is his singing hour, so you'll get to hear a lot of him. So the message I heard for you guys, actually what I felt was a lot of warmth, especially in my chest. And I kept seeing these images of like evening or dawn, and I did get the message of a new day, new beginning, rising. The interesting thing about this group is when I was shuffling the tarot to get the general energy for this week, it took a while for a card to fall out. Many kept falling and I only needed one card. I feel that as a sense of hesitance, or you know what, I'm also getting this feeling like Spirit was having trouble truly looking for one card to explain what will happen this week. So maybe this week will be very, very important to you, or I'm also getting this message of the feeling that this week will bring for you is so hard to put into words because it's mostly meant to be felt rather than to be described. Yeah, that's weird, but let's look into the card now. So the first card is to get the general energy of this week. Okay, so we have the Sun of Life. This is the Sun card in the Rider-Waite's Tarot. I was feeling warmth, and especially I was feeling it in my chest, and we have this man here whose heart space is completely open. I'm seeing it as blooming, especially because we have all these flowers here. The Sun card is all about joy, happiness, confidence, leadership, success. It is the yes card. When you're asking a yes or no question and the Sun card comes up, it is a total and undeniable yes. So this week, okay, I got the chills all of a sudden. Okay, so I understand now. I think Spirit really was having kind of trouble choosing one card to describe what this week will bring. Because this week, I don't feel it will be so much about action, but it will be about feeling. What the feelings that this week will ensue in you. Because I was also getting this vision of just like laying down, having your eyes closed, and just feeling the warmth. Like, I don't know, laying down on grass next to a tree, just relaxing. Because I got park, and I'm like, oh, I don't think people at this moment in time that we're in might be going to the park a lot. But we do have a lot of flowers here. And we do have the number 1 here, which represents new beginnings. And we have the number 9, which is kind of the closing of a phase or a cycle. It's coming to the 10. The 10 is the complete closing of something. And of course, we add 9 and 1, and we get 10. So this week feels like regeneration and rejuvenation. It feels like relaxation. I know we have this male represented in this image, but I'm getting a very feminine energy. If you've been working or overworking yourself, if you identify yourself as a workaholic, or you can't seem to catch a break because your mind is always working, whenever you feel the need to rest and you do rest, you just can't keep still. Like you have this like anxious feeling that you just need to get up and be doing something. Maybe it's very difficult for you to fall asleep at night. Maybe you suffer from insomnia, because the masculine energy, when it's a bit imbalanced, or when we have too much of it, right, where we're kind of leaning towards too much of the masculine energy and ignoring our feminine side, because remember, we have both energies within us to create a balance, a merge, a union within us. So when we're leaning towards the masculine, we tend to fall into that workaholic spectrum, because masculine energy is all about working. It's about action. It's about forward movement. The feminine energy is more about receiving. It's about sitting back and creating, being imaginative and nurturing. So I feel like you've really leaned and felt into your masculine energy. You've really worked hard. You've planted the seed. You toiled the soil. And it's like all you need to do now is lean more into your feminine energy, which, remember, it's all about receiving. So it feels like, yes, you've worked hard. Yes, you've planted the soil. You planted the seeds. You've toiled the soil. And it's like the universe wants you to know, you've done all this. Now let us give to you. You've given to us by planting your seeds, so now let us give to you. Sit back, relax, and let the flowers bloom. So now this week is all about leaning into that feminine energy. So when I look at this man, I see an individual who is balanced, who is already in that masculine energy, but is now opening itself to receiving. And now it's opening itself to this feminine energy. And that's why we have the heart space open. I always see the heart space as connecting with feminine energy. And the heart space is all about, I always say that I see it as a magnet. When we're fully open or connected to our heart space, then we know exactly what is for us, what is of us. And so we automatically magnetize all that resonates with us towards us, all that is of us towards us. And that's what I see here. That's why this man, where he is standing, is where the flowers are blooming. Right? Because he is look, he even looks like he's kind of pulling it from the ground. It's like where he stands, and because his heart space is open, he's literally magnetizing all that he wants, all that he needs, all that is meant for him up toward this 3D in his life, like to him. And we do have these spirals here, and I always see it as creative energy. So again, this group feels like you're very action orientated. You might be very creative. I feel like not necessarily overthinkers, but there's so much going in your mind, so many ideas here and there, and you just want to work on all of them at the same time, because it feels like you also have a lot of fiery energy, which is like action, passion, and you just don't know where to. You're like the sun, you shine so bright, you don't know where to direct all this energy to, because there's so much of it inside of you. If you've been asking for a time to relax, the universe is giving it to you this week. It's like they're going to send in, I don't know, I'm seeing like pixie dust, like sending you some dust to calm you down. Like Mr. Sandman is sending you some sand to help you fall asleep tonight, to relax. And in this moment, in this week, that you just let yourself be, close your eyes, relax, and open yourself to this energy. It's when like the universe will be working for you. Will be working for you to bring all that you've been planting seeds for into your reality. So that's why the message of a new beginning came through, like a new day, because this is the rising of something. This is the rising of you finally opening yourself to receiving, which is extremely, extremely, extremely important, because you've been working so hard, and because of it, the universe hasn't been able to kind of intervene. Because remember, yes, we need to put in the work, but it's about co-creation. It's about co-creating with the universe. And since you've done the work already, now it's the universe's time. Now they need to come in and give you a hand. But in order to do that, they need for you to relax. They need for you to pull back a bit, right? Because you're burning really, really bright, and the universe needs to come in. Like, there needs to be a balance. But let's get we have the moon, the sun, and the moon. I was talking about balance. You know, I feel like this is the universe. The universe is represented by the moon here. And in order for them to come in, the sun needs to set, right? Needs to relax, needs to chill in the background so the moon can rise. So the moon can rise and do its job, do what it needs to do. The moon is also connected with feminine energy. Sun is masculine, moon is feminine energy. And the moon here, I'm seeing it as intuition and subconscious. I'm also seeing this as like nighttime, sleeping, resting. It just feels like relaxation here. What's the word? Introspection. Yeah, it's about like meditating, introspecting, just relaxing, letting the thoughts that come to the surface just mellow here on the surface, just float about, but not get invested in it, not dive deep into this. It's time for relaxing. And also remember, when we allow ourselves to receive, then like it's just us being observant as well, because whatever emotions, whatever thoughts come up this week, it's not for us to get attached to them. It's just to observe them. Let them come up so that they can leave, right? If there's been pent-up anger, pent-up frustration that you've been kind of avoiding, setting aside, or pushing down by distracting yourself with work, with always being busy, this week will be about taking a rest, relaxing, taking a step back, so all that you've been pushing down can finally come to the surface so that it can be cleared out, right? Because we were talking about new days and new beginnings. For new beginnings to occur, we need to let go of the old, of the past, right? In order to make space for new. It's like your closet. When it's completely packed and full and you want new clothes, we need to make space for those new accessories, for those new clothes in our closet. Because I'm also seeing this like summertime, and then we're going into winter, right? We have all those summer clothes, and now we need to pull out all those sweaters, all those cardigans. So we need to put away these clothes to make space for our suitable winter attires, okay? So that's what I'm seeing here. I'm also seeing change here with the moon phases. So this week will be all about balance, will be about relaxing. And I think the crucial message here is old memories, and I'm talking about like old memories. It might be from your infancy. It might be from yesterday or last week. Old emotions, feelings, because I remember I said it's about feeling this week, will come to the surface. Feel them, observe them, acknowledge them. Do not get attached to them. That is not the point here. It's not to fish them out and keep them in the bowl. No, it's just let them be so that they can be released, because this is about connecting with your heart space. Right? And connecting with your heart space is allowing yourself to feel. Allow yourself to feel. We promise you, you will not get lost and you will not drown. Okay? But let's pull this card. This is to get the vibe of this week. And we have Ephemeral. The fleeting time taught us to cherish. Okay? So ephemeral is a concept of things that are transitory, so that they last for a short time. Exactly. Whatever comes up this week. And sometimes it's not just, I'm seeing more as feeling, I'm seeing it as things rising from within you. But this can also manifest in your physical life. So it might be people that you didn't have closure with, people that you just unexpectedly cut off a relationship with without having a conversation. These people might present themselves to you this week. Or maybe something that triggers you, reminds you of something that happens in your past that you haven't really forgotten, forgiven, moved on from, will maybe pop up for this week. Again, this is a fleeting thing. This is something that needs to come, that needs to surface, but it's only to be released, right? Do not allow yourself to get attached to it. Do not hook onto it, because it's not something that is meant to stay. If you don't want it, just hearing like, oh, an ex might come back, just gets you all irritated. Do not worry, this person is not meant to stay in your life. This is just to give you closure in order for you to completely release it. Completely release it, so that when you hear this person's name, when you see this person's face, or just the thought of them popping up in your life doesn't cause this instant reaction in you that just ruins your day. Because that's like giving them power. That's giving the past still power of your present. And we don't want that. We don't want that, because look, this is all about confidence, leadership. This is about claiming your space. Claiming your space and making it your own. And that's what we want for you. So universe is giving you that opportunity to do so this week. Okay? It's very crucial for you not to get attached to these emotions or believe that because you still feel this, you haven't progressed, you haven't grown. No, that is not the point. This is about releasing. Okay, so the last one is a direct message from Spirit. Oh, how beautiful. We have 3 of Wands. This is number 5, and this is the tree. So number 5 is a number that speaks about unexpected changes or dramatic changes. I see change occurring here. I see a new day occurring here. The 3 of Wands is also about movement. It's looking out into the horizon. It also speaks about travel. But it feels like looking out, looking into a new day. I don't know if the 3 of Wands in the Rider-Waite Tarot is the one where the man is holding the world in his hand. But if not, it is the one where he's looking out into the horizon and his ships are coming in. And the only thing that keeps coming to my mind is that song. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, and it feels so good. Okay, I'm not a singer, I'm sorry guys. But that's what I'm seeing here. So a person who knows that things are about to happen for him, that their ships are arriving, is a person that is completely chill. There's nothing to worry about because they know already, they put in the work, they know they planted the seeds, and all they're waiting for is for their flowers to bloom. So they're just relaxing under a tree. That's what I was getting here, under a tree like by a park, and feeling the sun. Feeling the sun wash over them because they know all is well, all will be okay. I'm getting a lot of relaxation energy here, and it's to help bring your energies into balance because again, you've been working really hard. Universe acknowledges that. They want you to rest right now. Open yourself, because in this resting period, in this stillness, you can open yourself to receive. So then the universe can work for you this time and bring all this abundance. Whatever you've been working on, bring it to you. And I'm also seeing during this stillness, when we're completely still, a lot of things come to the surface. And when they come to the surface, it's not for us to cling to them, but it's allowing them to just release. Okay, they come to the surface to be released. Yes, so I feel like after this week, you're still like, there's going to be a new sense of like the passion, like I'm sensing regeneration and rejuvenation. This is to allow yourself to unwind, but also to recharge. So the week that comes after this, you will have all this, like your mind will be completely cleansed, like completely new, and like these beautiful new ideas will come about. And you will have the energy now, but also the motivation, right? It wouldn't just be like action. It will actually be like excitement to do this, and energy, like your body will actually feel rested in order to do this, to do the work, or to bring these creative ideas into reality. But now let's see some keywords. Oh my goodness, rest. Yes, this week is about rest time. We have recognition. The sun also speaks about recognition, being in the spotlight. Is there one more? Okay, that's it. We have create. Yes, it's about creating. I feel like this week is about rest, and it's allow your mind to kind of clear out so that new ideas can flow in, but for you to understand them. Because again, I was getting a lot of, it wasn't necessarily overthinking, but it was just like so many ideas were coming in that you really couldn't hold on to one. It's like you do one thing and then you move on to the next, so you didn't finish the first thing that you were doing, and it's just so chaotic, right? And it just tires you. But this time it feels like the rest gives you clarity and allows you to regenerate in some way, so that all the creative ideas that do come in, you can see them clearly, one by one, understand them, and you can actually bring them to fruition. With recognition, I'm seeing this as being in the spotlight. Again, I feel like if this is not just like inner stuff coming up, there might be people that come back this week, and it's because, again, since you're so at rest here, you're so at peace, you're so open, and so maybe these people will gravitate towards you. But again, these people are not meant to stay in your life unless you want to. Again, remember, it's all about free will. But if you do not, if you clearly do not, these people are not meant to stay. This is for you to just gain closure, to finish this, like completely this, close this chapter of your life and release this, okay? I guess this is also representing recognition of your feelings, recognition of your emotions. And conclude. I was about to scream, but no, I don't want to hurt your ears. But conclude. We were talking about that. This is about concluding so a new day can arise, can begin. There, it's self-explanatory. We're concluding things, guys, okay? So this is a pretty great week. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of action here. It's all about rest. But remember, rest is crucial, because when we allow rest, a lot can come in and a lot can be released. Okay, so now let's move on to the yes or no section. So how this works is I'm going to use this crystal, and I'm going to pull out 2 more. So if you only have one question, then you can assign it to one of these 3 crystals here. Let me move this so you can see it. So one of these 3 crystals here. And if you have 3 questions, then you can assign a question to each crystal, and I'll give you some time to do so. You can pause the video if you need to. Okay, and then we're going to pull back the chart, and I'm going to drop these crystals on the chart and see what we get. Okay, hope you can see it, you guys. Okay, so as you can see, for this clear quartz right here, we have an absolute and clear yes. For this crystal right here, it's in between the unknown and no, so I'm going to take it as unknown. And for this crystal right here, I'm actually going to take it in the rephrase. So what rephrase means is consider how you're asking your question, because sometimes how we phrase the question, we really don't allow it to obtain an answer, right? Because it might be too general or constricted in some way. So be mindful how you're phrasing your question, and that actually can give you a lot of insight on what you're actually feeling or what you're actually wanting to know. Sometimes even the answer itself is hidden in how we phrase the question. And for the unknown, it's because I feel like free will is at play here. So it depends very much on the choice that you make. Because again, nothing is written in stone, especially when it comes to this, what you ask. And then this is just a yes, okay? So that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance or clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, seekers who chose group 2. So before beginning the readings, I always ask to connect with the energy of each group, and this is to help me get an inkling of what the reading will be about before looking at the cards. So when I was shuffling the cards for this group, I felt a lot of peace, calm, and I actually saw this image in my mind's eye of a prairie. And right now when I was connecting with the energy of this group, the word move and listen came through. Okay, so I think this week will be about transitions. And it feels like moving away from a phase of your life that maybe has become very routine-like or very monotone. And this week will be like the ending of that, completely moving on into something that might be even out of your comfort zone. And this move, it feels very drastic. I'm not sensing necessarily unexpected, but it just feels very drastic. That spirit is asking you to listen, because I actually felt them coming through, and it's like they're sending you messages, and they're wanting you to know that you're supported, that you're looked after, that you have not been abandoned, that they're here for you, and they're leaving you messages, signs, synchronicities. Like in every corner, everywhere you turn, you'll see something that's significant to you. So pay mind to those, pay close attention to those, because that's your guides telling you, hey, we're here, we got your back, things will be good. I feel like I don't want to. Okay, I'll just say it. It feels like this is something that you've asked for. It might not be given to you, presented to you in the wrappings that you like, but the present, the core of it, is exactly what you've been asking for. I hope that makes sense. Like, it doesn't look like how you expected it to, but at the end of the day, it is what you wanted. I'm not feeling anything negative of it. It feels like positive. It feels like a positive change. But now let's look into the cards. So this is to represent the general energy of this week. Okay, we have the Page of Bows, the Stout, in reverse. Okay, that's interesting. The Page of Bows is the Page of Wands, and the Page of Wands is all about action, forward movement. But the Page of Wands is very, like the word feisty is coming up, but like as hot as it can be, as hot as it can turn up, as feisty as it can turn up one minute, it can turn cold the next, right? So it's like it's here one minute and then it's out the next. So it's not an energy that's very reliable. It feels like it can get bored very easily. And it's interesting that we have it in reverse, because that feels like the opposite energy to me. It feels like kind of I wouldn't say a blockage, but yeah, maybe a blockage. Like I'm getting this image of a wheel being stuck, like a wheel that was always turning and something got in its way and then it can't move. The Page of Wands is also very creative, very passionate. That's why it's so difficult to keep the attention of the Page of Wands, because its mind is so open to everything. Like one thing calls it its attention, and then it sees another, and they're interested in that. And I feel like it's very adaptable as well. It feels like a chameleon kind of energy. It thrives in change. That's what I'm getting. It thrives in change. You know what? This could be representing a person coming in to your life that can be this energy, but I'm feeling that this could be representing your life or your energy in general. It feels like you are this very action, very bubbly, very creative person. A lot of things interest you. You maybe you were a person that once wanted to travel the world, wanted to do more than one thing, but it feels like at some point in your life, that wheel that was always turning, it could even be the wheels of your mind, like always thinking of new ideas, new ways to do things, all of a sudden got stuck, and it got stuck on the same routine, on the same pattern, and then after that, you kind of forgot that the wheel got stuck, and you just kept living like that in the same pattern, seeing like the same routine, the same pattern, till your life got monotone. And in that moment that you finally realized your life, or you just felt like your life got monotone, it's like when you reached out and you asked for a change. You asked for something different. Maybe you felt like something was missing. Maybe you felt unsatisfied with where you were at right now, or how your life was presenting or showing up for you. And then I feel like that's when universe heard you, and they're like, okay, then let's bring in this change. Because you remember, universe respects free will. So it is when you are open to it, when you ask for it, then that the universe can come and intervene. Remember that message, ask and you shall receive, right? And I feel like they're bringing in this change for you, because that really resonates with you. It feels like the law of attraction. Remember, what we attract is what we are putting out there. But especially, it's like what is truly of us, right? And so I feel like your inner core, your energy is all about movement. And it's not a bad thing to be so inspired by life, to want to learn more, to want to know more, to want to do more than one thing, even at once. If that is your nature, then the universe acknowledges that. And so they're bringing in this change towards you. Because I was getting this prairie life, and the prairie, I always imagine the prairie life as having a routine, having an agenda, doing the same work every day until it becomes habitual. It can become monotone for some. And for you, it feels like, no, like you need to be doing something different. You need to be seeing different sceneries, meeting new people, breathing in different air. And they're bringing in that for you, right? Because in actuality, you are more of the page of bows upright. But let's look at the clarifiers. This is the only group that got 2 clarifiers, by the way. So we have kindreds and we have hold. Okay, yes. So this might be a person that might be coming into your life, who is how I just described, who is in their innermost self, is this very action-orientated being. But I think how they present themselves is very subdued. And I feel it might be like teachings by their parents or teachings by society, or they just had to adapt themselves to this more tranquil and subdued energy in order to fit in. And this person might be someone from your soul family, because we have kindreds here. Kindreds represent soulmates. Soulmates don't necessarily have to be romantic partners. Again, they're soul mates, soul friends, right? They're from your soul group. And it's funny because this can be someone coming into your life, but I'm feeling that this is representing you. So if this is someone that is presenting into your life, this someone might present themselves as more of this action person, like more of this passionate person. And when they present themselves as their true, unapologetic, unabashed self, it reminds you of someone. And that someone they're reminding you of is of you. Right? Because see how these 3 beings are connected to each other, but they're all shining in light form. And they're true authenticity, and they're all of the same, right? They come from the same seed, the same pool of water. So this person is a reflection of your innermost self, and this person might come through without restraint, right? Without restraint, without any guilt or shame of who they are. And when you see them, something sparks within you. You remember someone, and it might be that kid that once was so imaginative, that once wanted to explore the entire world and had no limitations. And slowly, little by little, you start remembering and recalling your own light. This fire you have within that you've kept quiet, that you've silenced for a long time. Maybe that's what I got. Listen, it's time to hear that fire, hear that true voice that's been begging to come out of you. Because look what we have here. We have hold. We have this person who's like being kind of like, I'm not seeing it trapped, it's just like the word says, being held in this space. And I'm seeing this as your inner child and your true self. Your innermost self. And it's like you've held it. You held it in your heart. You've held it deep within yourself. And it's been kept quiet for far too long. And it's like, I think just maybe an evening happened where you heard this inner child's voice call out. You had this feeling in you. And that's when you realize, hey, the life that I'm living right now doesn't really resonate with me anymore. I want more. I feel like there's something missing. And you called for that. you called for yourself to show up. You called for a change, and the universe heard you. And again, if this is not necessarily in your lifestyle that a change will be occurring, maybe what the universe is doing is they're bringing a person in who is very much like you, who is very much like that child that you once were, who was completely free and unabashed, unrestrained, unlabeled. And they're bringing this person in to remind you, hey, you're also that person. You find this person beautiful, you find this person inspiring because, hey, they're a reflection of you. You are also as inspiring and as beautiful and as free. It's time to rise. It's time to break these branches and stretch yourself out as much as you can and shine as bright as the brightest star in the sky, which is the sun. And I like it because their arms are also outstretched. Yeah, outstretch your arms in order to connect with new people, in order to find your soul family. And there will be so much freedom. This is to represent the vibe of this week. We have solitude. Loneliness is, oh goodness. Loneliness is learning to get along with yourself. Interesting. Okay. It's interesting because you have kindreds here, and I'm seeing a lot of reflection here. I feel like this week is about rediscovering yourself, remembering who you are. But I do believe there will be people, one person at least, who will present themselves to you this week. And maybe they might irk you in the beginning. Maybe they might do something that you don't fit to be suitable. Maybe because society taught you hey, you're not supposed to put your feet up on the table, right? That's not having manners. Or you're not supposed to burp. And it irks you. But at the same time, it's you find it funny. In some way, you find it freeing how they do this and they really don't care. And they don't really see it as something wrong because they're not really hurting anybody. And you're you remember that maybe that's what you'd like to do when you were a kid. Maybe you just burped out of nowhere, but your parents told you, hey, that's not ladylike, or that's not gentlemanly to do that. Because this is reminding me of Rose from Titanic, that scene where she finally just breaks, her mother is kind of telling her to sit upright, or she sees this little girl who her mother is telling her, sit upright, put the napkin on your lap, and drink like a little proper lady. And you saw that this was a child, right? At the beginning, she was just slouching on her chair, swinging her feet, and just being a kid. But they completely took that away from her and told her, hey, you need to be adultish now. You need to be ladylike now. And so Rose saw that, and it was just like a flashback of her own life. And that's when she runs, and that's when she just wants to end everything, because she just felt so claustrophobic. She felt like everything was closing in on her. As much as she wanted to scream, nobody was listening to her. And it's finally you've listened to your inner child. You listened to that person who's been dying to get out, who's been dying to be freed. And so what I get with solitude is maybe you felt alone most of your life, because nobody was listening to you. Nobody was hearing the real you. Maybe you couldn't find other people around your community who resembled you or who allowed themselves to be free so that they can show up as their true self. You didn't find that authenticity in anybody. And it feels like this week somebody comes in from out of town, shows up at your doorstep, and they're different. They're not the person that you usually mingle with. And they pretty much look behave like the kid that you once were, or the person that you truly want to be. And you can be free with them. I'm just getting you're Rose and Jack comes into your life, and then you can be the free Rose, the real Rose, the true you. Show up as your true unapologetic self. Let your hair loose, dance around, explore, travel, create. Yeah. And the last card is a direct message from Spirit. Oh snap, you guys! We have the Two of Cups. This is the man, the gentleman. And I love it how it falls here. We have the lady and the gentleman here. Okay, yes, there definitely will be a person arriving at your doorstep this week. Your rose, be it if you're female or male, the energy you're exuding is of the energy of Rose from Titanic. If you have not seen that movie, I do recommend it. But it's this person who can feel like they cannot be their true self because nobody cares to get to know that true them. And somebody, Jack, shows up and they're like, hey, I see that light within. Can we get to know more of this true person that you're holding within? Yeah, and I feel like they're actually the Page of Bows upright. And again, if this is not that way, it can be reversed. Maybe you're the Page of Bows upright and you're the one who shows up for someone who is the Page of Bows in reverse, right? Who's someone more like this Rose. But the overall energy here is that you're finding yourselves. You're remembering who you are. You're breaking free. You're finding a soul mate, someone from your soul family. This, I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partnership or suitor, but this can very well be because we do have the Two of Cups here. The Two of Cups also reminds me of soulmates, but it usually means like a love connection. Yeah. Ooh, how exciting. This is pretty cool. This is pretty exciting. Let me pull some keywords. If we get romance, then we know we have a romantic connection here. We have conclude, and I was going to mention that with the 1 and 9 here because you add them up, that's 10. 10 is about closing of phases, closing of cycles, and like I was mentioning at the beginning, it feels like a transitional week. It feels like the old life that you knew, we're finally ending with that, and we're starting a new one where you're coming out of this energy of being trapped. It's time to remember who you are, and as you remember who you truly are and you start listening, right, to what it is that you truly want, then you start creating the life that you want for yourself. It's not anymore what other people think is right, what other people want for you, but this is about you. What do you want for yourself? What do you like? What do you want to see? What do you want to explore? What do you want to learn about? What do you want to do today? This is listening to that inner child, to that inner voice, to your innermost desires and want, and following them. Okay? Reflection. This is that solitude energy. Loneliness is learning to get along with yourself. This is a time, I'm seeing reflect as a time of remembering yourself. And I was also saying the word reflection a lot with this kindred spirit. I feel like this person reflects a lot of what you've been hiding. A lot of the true you that you've been holding in. And when you see it presented to you, you can't hold back anymore. You just can't anymore because you're like, hey, this person can, then why can't I? If this person shines this bright being them, then why can't I shine that bright being myself? And so you both shine bright as the sun. Reveal. And I love it how it's here on top of the Kindred's card. Yes, you're revealing your true self. This is also revealing this soul, your soul family, a soul partner, a soul mate. This week is about revealing who you truly are. Letting this person that's been held within you, held silent, finally speak up, finally be released. Okay? Ooh, how romantic. This feels like a romance movie. Okay. My romantic side is coming through. So now let's get into the yes or no questions. So how this works, we have this chart. I'm going to use this crystal and I'm going to pull out 2 more. If you have a specific question, then you can assign it to one of these 3 crystals. If you have 3 questions, then you can assign a question to each crystal. Okay? I'll give you some time. You can pause the video if you need to. Okay, so now I'm going to pull up the chart and I'm going to let the crystals fall and we'll see what we get. Okay, so as you can see, the clear quartz fell right on the unknown. We have this one, I'm just gonna call it stripey, fell right on the yes, and this one here felt, I'm gonna say unknown here. So we have two unknowns and one yes. This, I'm not sure what it is, smoky quartz. So what unknown means is there is, remember I was mentioning free will? So there is free will, meaning that whatever decisions you make or something, a decision you make, how you view the situation can change a lot the outcome, right? Because there's free will at play. So whatever you're asking about it's not set in stone, right? So how you go about this, how you view this, how you feel toward this, it can really change the outcome, okay? So that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. I did enjoy doing this reading, you guys. Yeah, if you resonate with this reading, then please do leave a like or a comment. If you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next moment, bye-bye. Hello seekers who chose group 3. So before beginning the readings, I always ask to connect with the energy of each group, and this is to help me get an inkling of what the reading will be about before looking at the cards. Okay, so actually when I was shuffling the tarot deck for this group to get the general energy of this week, I immediately heard direct message. And when I heard that or thought that, this card flew out. So what that is telling me is there is a very direct message Spirit wants to give to you for this week. And when I was connecting with the energy of this group just like seconds ago, I felt a lot of tingling sensations in my crown chakra. Now, I feel like this is the spiritual group or the group that actively practices maybe some form of divination or meditates a lot, is actively trying to open up all their chakras or to connect with spirit or to their guides. Because it feels like this week you will be connecting with spirits. You will be receiving some direct guidance or message from the universe, from your guides, from your angels, whoever it is that you connect with, resonate, or believe in. Okay? So now let us look into the cards to see what this message is about. So, okay. So we have the Seven of Vessels, morning. So again, this is to represent the general energy of this week. So the Seven of Vessels, the Seven of Cups in the Rider-Waite's Tarot speaks about illusions. It also speaks about, I see it as kind of trickery, because it reminds me of that game where you put like, a stone underneath a cup and then you shuffle them around and you need to guess where the stone is. And usually in those games, you can get tricked a lot. Feels like a gambling game. That's what I'm getting, like a gambling game. And with the Seven of Vessels morning, it is all about, it feels like being stuck in the past, not being able to let go of it, because you're not able to mourn it or to grieve it for the same reason that you don't believe this to be something that needs to be grieved or mourned, either because you don't believe it has ended, or maybe you feel like you shouldn't care about it. And again, what that causes is illusions, because if you're ignoring it because you feel like you don't need to care about it or you don't care about it, you're kind of deceiving yourself in some way, because you're actually keeping it in, right? And so you're making this a space for it, kind of this, like an altar. In your very being, be it in your mind, in your soul, and it's occupying space. And so you can't move on from it unless you mourn it, unless you grieve it, unless you acknowledge it. I'm seeing this as offerings as well. But I'm noticing how the cups are empty. Remember, cups here, they're vessels. It's just like our bodies, right? I always see them as our bodies. And our energy, our spirit is the water. It's the liquid inside the vessel. But I'm seeing how these cups are empty. So it's like a body without a spirit, without a soul. There's no life here. There's no meaning, there's no feeling, there's no emotion. So it's like, the word dryness and numbness keeps coming through. Whatever this is has been there for so long that it has now become numb. Or now you just become numb to it. And feeling numbness towards it doesn't mean you've released it or you've healed it. It just means that it's been there for so long that it's like, like when you hold onto maybe your hand or your finger for so long, or you have like maybe your leg folded underneath you and you're in that position for so long that your leg becomes numb. Right? Because it's actually going through so much discomfort and pain, so much of it, that it just becomes numb. So I'm seeing this as there's been so much pain to it that it's become numb, but it's not actually you healing from it. And the only way for you to finally heal from this is to actually acknowledge it. And I'm seeing this as like filling the cups as a form of like tears, crying, mourning for it, grieving for it. That will allow that grieving, that mourning will allow for this to wash away, to be cleared out, to make space for something new and beautiful to grow. Because this is occupying space here. Like the grass can't grow here because this is seated there. I mean, this is a general reading. It can be in regards to anything, but I'm being pulled to this symbol here on the skull. And this reminds me of Aquarius energy. And the spirals remind me of creative energy flow, like air and water. And we have a skull here, and I felt like a connection with the crown chakra. I'm getting this very, very deep message. It might not resonate with everybody, but for some of you it feels like being numb to yourself, being numb to your spirit, to who you truly are. It feels like maybe you lost faith. You stopped believing that you could be, or that you are this beautiful, magnificent person. Or maybe you felt like life really shut you down. You were once this very open, this very unique individual with unique ideas, unique perspectives, and every time you tried to voice those ideas, your points of view, the world just shunned you and shut you out. And maybe you feel that kind of anger towards the outside, towards the world, maybe even towards spirit, or the universe, because you were like, I once was this very free being. I once was showing up as my true self, but the world didn't like that. And so I had to close that me up. I had to put her or him aside in order to become this other version that was more suitable for society, that was more suitable for this world. And so I'm sensing that like maybe you closed yourself up, you closed connection, or something happened, didn't go how you asked for it to go, and you closed, I feel like you closed connection. But this week is about revisiting. It's about going back. It's about reconnecting with this. And it could either be like reconnecting with this anger. Allow yourself to feel the anger so that it can finally leave your space. So you can find some form of release and relief. Because I feel like that may be what's blocking your connection. If you just feel blocked in some way, if you feel numb, it's because maybe you haven't allowed yourself to feel. And maybe you might be saying, but when I feel, it's too painful. But I think Spirit wants you to know, yes, it will be painful, but there will be healing from this. Because you will be facing it. And you will be finally putting this to rest, so it won't haunt you anymore. Let me pull out the clarifier. we have time here. This for me always speaks about divine timing, but what I heard is it is time. It is finally time to move on from this, and it is finally time to mourn. It is finally time to grieve. And remember, what the time here is telling me, change is needed in order for there to be growth. Because I'm seeing that with the phases here of the moon. Even the moon has phases. And I feel like this can also represent, as harsh as it may seem, this is only a phase and it will pass. Let it be a phase. Don't let it be something that stays there for your entire life. Because the more that we keep it, the more that we ignore it, or even more, the more that we feed it. It's like I'm also seeing these cups as empty promises. Because what can you feed to a skeleton? It's gone. Nothing. So if it can be a lot of things. If it's a relationship, if it's a job, something that's no longer bringing you joy, life, love, excitement, energy, it's because that thing was meant to, you were meant to be done with it and ended a long time ago, but you just held on because maybe it's become something that's comfortable to you. It's because it's something that, it's the only thing that you know, and change might feel scary for you, but it is time. It is time, because this is not fulfilling you, because it was meant to leave your life a long time ago. It's time to let go. It's time to turn the hourglass so new sands can fall. And this is not the ending. It's not like the ending of everything you know. This is just the closing of a book, in order so you can start a new one, a more fulfilling one where you can learn new things. It's time for a change as well. It doesn't have to be this painful. They don't want it to be this painful for you. They also want a change for you. And I'm also getting it like worldwide scale. I feel like this is also representing a change in the world. A change in the world, a change in views. Like, yes, not everyone will be able to meet eye to eye with you. Not everybody will be able to see the world how you see it. But I feel like what this is telling me is like, but more people are being open to it. More people are seeing the world in new light, maybe in the lenses that you see it or once saw it as. And there will be more people that you can connect with. There is a change. It feels like there is a change occurring, a change. But in order for you to also enter this change, you need to allow change to occur in your own personal life. Okay, direct message from Spirit. We have the Coffin. This is the 5 of Swords, number 6 here. The 5 of Swords for me represents inner struggle. And we do have skull here, the mind, the crown chakra. It's maybe how your mentality, how you view yourself, how you view the world. There's conflict, maybe there's anger, there's frustration, there's pain. But it's time to put that to rest. Look, this is just messages and advice, right? Again, you don't have to do anything. In whatever reading anybody gives you, there is no right or wrong answer. Because the truth is only what you believe it to be. The truth will be different for everybody, because everybody has their own truth. So it is always up to you. It is your free will. Again, you don't have to do anything. But the only message that is coming through here, what is being recommended is for something to be put to rest. For the bones to finally be put to rest. For a change to occur. And the only message that is coming through very softly actually is, it is time. It is time to move on forward, to make space for new, for life. because it's like we're keeping space here for what is already dried up, gone, and we're not allowing grass to grow. We're not allowing life to grow. This is the vibe of this week. We have epoch. Every journey is worth remembering. So epoch means a period of time in a person's life. It's usually marked by some notable events. If this is a person in your life who has passed, it feels like they've made a great impact in your life. And if you're one to believe in spirit and energy, you will know, you will feel that they are always here with you. Even though we may not see them, we know that they're here with us. And I think the message is, it's time to mourn, it's time to grieve. Because I feel like when you do that, you will feel them closer to you. Because I feel like right at this moment there's a disconnection, and that's because there isn't an acceptance. And once we accept, we can reconnect, and you will feel them around you. And if this is like you maybe wanting to connect with them, I think that's what's being asked of you. If you allow yourself to grieve and mourn, you will feel them. You will be able to connect with them. And it feels like they really want to give you a message here. They really want to let you know that they're okay. And I feel like it is time. It is time for something new. Like something new is meant to come into your life. But in order for that to happen, this could either be a person, someone new that you're meant to start a new beautiful journey with. This person can only come in when you release this, when you've mourned this. And releasing, mourning, grieving doesn't mean forgetting about that person. Doesn't mean that. It's just acknowledging the change that happened and knowing that they're still around you, but not in the way that they once were. And if this is not a person, again, this could be a job, this can be a relationship. This could be a part of your life that just ended, that you just maybe don't want to accept because it's too painful. But it's time. The journey maybe was beautiful or maybe it was difficult, but it's part of the past. It was part of the journey, right? But you're no longer in that anymore. So there's something new waiting for you. It's time to get out of this season of winter. It's time for the snow to melt. Release the tears is what I heard. Release the tears. The tears will water the soil and flowers will bloom. Okay? Let me pull out some keywords. So we have support, we have rest, we have tower, and we have inspiration. So with rest, it reminds me of putting this to rest. It's time to put this to rest. With support, it feels like support from your guides, support from the universe. And I feel like you have support, or you will be given support. If this is something difficult, and maybe you need someone to talk to in order to move through this, support will be given to you. Or universe is asking you, guys are telling you, look for support. Ask for the help, and it will be given to you. We have tower here. Tower usually represents the falling of something. It's some change that happens in your life that shakes your foundations, and it's usually drastic changes, heavy changes that come with heavy energy. And this was a tower moment in your life. And tower moments usually happen when an ending, a cycle of our life ends, and it's for a new one to begin. So I'm getting again, like in terms, something in your life, maybe a job, a relationship ended, and it really shook your foundations. And maybe you're holding on to how lovely it once was, and you're thinking that nothing like this will ever come about. They're telling you no, with inspiration here. I feel the universe is telling you, take the best that happened in this journey and double it, triple it. Like, map out your new journey, being inspired by the one that you truly love, the journey that has already ended that you truly love. Take the best from it, take inspiration from it to create your new journey, to create your new tower, build it on firmer, stable foundations, so this can be long term. Create a new change for yourself. But in order to do that, we need to let go of, again, the old, in order to start something new. You can't bring the past, can't bring what's already gone into your present, especially not into your future. Okay? A new journey awaits you. Okay, so now let us move into the yes or no part of this reading. So I have this chart, and I'm going to keep this crystal, and I'm going to pull out 2 more crystals. And what we're going to do is, if you have 3 questions, you can assign it to each crystal. And if you only have 1 question, then you can only choose 1 crystal here. You can pause the video if you need to. Yeah. So now I'm going to pull a chart, and I'm going to drop a crystal on the chart. Goodness. And the other one, unknown. See where they fall. So we have 2 on the unknown. Actually, I believe this is a no. It's falling here, and the no. And then we have unknown here. And then this one, I don't want to move it, but okay. This one fell right here, which I will take, rephrase, okay? So the unknowns mean there is free will. There is free will at play. So how you view the situation, how maybe you change your mind about it, can really change the outcome of this. Because free will is at play here. Whatever you're asking about has not been set in stone. Okay, so it can change. The outcome can change any moment, any day. With rephrase, maybe see how you're phrasing your question. Sometimes how we phrase our question doesn't really allow us to receive the answer we're really looking for, or doesn't really open itself to even receive an answer, or gain the clarity that we're looking for. Also, how we phrase the question can give us a lot of information. Sometimes the answer is hidden in how we phrase the question, so look into that. For you guys, I actually want to pull, you're the only group I'm going to do this with. I want to pull a message for you guys. Pull out this one. Okay, yesterdays and tomorrows do not exist in the now, only the present does. Okay, so that is your message, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance or clarity. But if you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated, then please do leave a like or a comment. And if you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next moment, bye bye.